Hey dreamers, welcome back to my channel. It has been a little bit since I've been around, and I do apologize, but I promise not to be doing that again. I want to talk with you guys a little bit about what I'm doing here on this channel. As you know, I am going to be taking this journey as I grow, as I become the person that I wanted to be, and pursue my dreams of working in film and television, and being in the public eye, and just encouraging people to be their best selves and follow that and motivate everyone. I'm just going to take you along on the journey if you want to come. And so today, I really felt like I needed to discuss a few things because I've been going through quite a bit. And the most important thing that I think to get out of today, if anything, I'll say it right off the top because, I don't want to tease you. I will tease you a little bit, but I mean, if you listen, you actually might hear what I've been going through and hopefully find yourself in this journey a little bit and understand what I'm talking about. So the main thing that I think is key in a journey of changing and growing and becoming yourself is to listen to yourself and understand that the self voice, the voice within. You need to understand a few voices. You need to understand, of course, I've spoken about before, if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, why not? I really love and have a lot of really cool content on there. So there's that plug. Check. But if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I really do have a personal relationship with my inner child and how I definitely speak with him a lot. And again, if you've seen some of the interviews or things that I've done with friends on podcasts, you know that little kid and I are really, we're like this, my friends. But I want to talk a little bit, not about that voice. And then there's that encouraging voice, that's inside that hypes you up and, you're ready to go and you're like, all right, I've got this. I don't want to talk about that voice either. Although that is an important voice. We should always have that voice. I kind of want to talk about the voice that can really be, what is the word? Maybe I don't want to say it's debilitating, but it's a word. It definitely can be. It can kind of halt you in your journey. It can kind of act as a wall and kind of get in your way. That self-sabotaging voice. See, I knew it was going to come. That self-sabotaging voice, that inner saboteur, as RuPaul likes to call it, that voice that tells you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, or you can't do this, or oh, who are you to think that, or it makes you worry and makes you wonder if I'm doing the right thing, and makes you always second guess everything. I want you to understand and recognize that voice. That voice is connected to something deep within you. And you need to understand that voice because that voice wants to be heard. It needs to be heard. And it needs to be experienced. We all have that voice. It connects all of us. We all have it within us. And once we get past that voice, we still... I think it's a kind of something that we walk with for a long time. We fight that voice. But in your journey, in my journey at least, I find that I've moved past, feeling that way, and I know that I'm a wonderful person, or I'm a blessed person, or I'm a creative person, or I know all of my strengths, and I know I've walked through them, and I have faith, and I know the goodness, but I also understand the difficulties, and that voice kind of comes in because it wants to be heard, and it's really difficult because I think there comes a point in your life where you have to say goodbye to that voice, and you have to say, you served me for a moment and I appreciate you, but I no longer need you. I am now believing this. And this new frame of thought, you've got to kind of, I always talk about flipping the narrative. You learn to flip the narrative, and then you have to walk it out daily, and that's not an easy thing to walk it out. It's not an easy thing to say it. You say it and you say it and you say it, and it's a part of the journey. As you walk and as you do what you do, and you know what you're supposed to be doing, you're kind of walking that fearfully courageous walk, and that's important, and that's key. And that voice, it has a hard time leaving sometimes, and you just have to kind of know that it's going to be there, and recognize it so that you can silence it by saying thank you. I hear you, but that is no longer my truth. And if it is your truth, if you really do believe that voice, then there are deeper things that you need to deal with. I'm talking about after you have kind of made peace with that voice and you're moving forward and you're growing, and you're still going through things, because we go through things, we make mistakes, we walk through difficult things, there. And I'll talk about a few of those things to kind of explain that voice in my life and how I have been battling that, because I know that I'm going to do some amazing things, but I've been dealing with that voice. So let's talk about that voice. For me, it's something that I don't even hear sometimes. The tip number one that I want to give you guys, or you all, is that with that voice, you need to surround yourself with people who understand the next level, who understand the next level thinking. They understand where you want to be. They understand and see your vision, and they see where you're going, and they love you, and they support you, and they encourage you. So when you surround yourself with those people who know that, then when you speak out of just off the cuff, like your heart just kind of speaks out of habit, that voice will kind of come out sometimes, and you don't necessarily believe it anymore, but it still comes out, because it's like word vomit. It's residual gunk. And what do? We've got to just grab our cleaning products and clean out that residual gunk so that we can really, really be able to use the tool that we have there and get rid of the gunk, and we don't want it to taint whatever the vessel is. And so, one of the most important things is to have those relationships in place. And if you don't have those relationships in place, find them. They're around. There are people everywhere, whether you find it at church, whether you find it at school, you find it at work, you find it at home. I can guarantee you can find someone, or a few people who can help you move to the next level. And so, the way that I've heard that kind of being described is that your vibe attracts your tribe. So it's essential to find your tribe, to find those who know where you're going, who are going on a similar path as you, and who get it. Because when you get to speak with people who get it, then they understand, and they've been there, and they have that voice as well. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is a lot like it as well. And that's kind of, it's a difficult one. I kind of alluded to it a minute ago, but tip number two is find a new narrative. Figure out what way can you say this, and what is the new way of thinking. So you have to recognize the way that you're saying this thing, and now realize that you are now saying a new thing. And what is that new thing? Where is that new thing coming from? Where is that new thing going? What is it that's going to get you on your way to that final, touchdown, if you will? I guess using a football reference. You won't hear those often from me, because, well, I don't really know sports very well, but I do know some. And growing up in Texas, football. You have to know football. It's kind of a part of your Friday nights. It's those Friday night lights. And so, yes, as I was saying, it's that flipping that narrative. Find a way to reframe that thinking, and then find a new phrase for it. Find a new way to say what it is that you want to say. It's kind of like learning a new language. I mean, because it really is. It's like you're moving into another country, like maybe French, you find bonjour, all these different ways of saying hello. You've got to reframe and readjust, and you then are able to fit into the new space that you're living in. So that's number two. And I think when you can find a way to do that, it's really key. So we had identify it and then flip that narrative. And now we've got number three. You want to give yourself grace, okay? So you want to be able to, when you have difficulty, make sure that you give yourself a little bit of grace when you are speaking that way, and be nice to yourself. And then you want to celebrate when you were able to move forward with that new narrative, because it's so exciting, and you're able to walk with freedom because you are able to do that. So that would be 3 and 4. And then 5, the last thing that I'll say is recognize that in other people and be their light. The way that you had those people in the beginning who helped you, you found your vibe, your tribe, all of that. When you found those people who helped you out, it's now time for you to be one of those people for someone else. It's time for you to encourage and love and care for other people, because that is key. It's so important. I cannot stress that enough. And in your life, that is going to really help you sow seeds of joy. It's going to sow seeds of excitement. It's going to change your life. It's going to really impact other people. In my journey of body positivity, I've had a real difficulty sometimes changing the way that I'm speaking and the way that I'm saying things, because I have no problem with, looking myself in the mirror and thinking, man, you're good looking, man, I loving myself. I definitely love myself. But there have been times when I'm talking with friends that they hear me kind of say one thing, and then I have to change that narrative real quickly because I notice that I was saying something different and saying something to it was like I was giving myself the love or the compliment, but then I was taking it away almost immediately, with that that self-sabotaging talk. And I cannot carry that energy. And so it's been important to have my cheerleaders and my friends who are able to kind of point that out. And they point it out with love. And that's something that's important to realize too, is with the giving grace, you give love, you understand that it is a part of our journey. It is a part of what we're doing. So as you're making your landmarks, you're losing weight if that's what you want to do, or you're getting healthy, you're eating right, and that's what you want to do, then or whatever it is that you're wanting to do, is you're writing because maybe it's difficult, or if you've been going through depression and just getting out of bed is really, really tough. That is not easy, and you need your relationships and your friends who can help you get through that. So I was having coffee with a friend, and we were talking about how sometimes you have two types of depression that we were discussing. One of them is like when you really chemically cannot do certain things. You just the fact of getting out of bed is tough. But even if you were living your life and doing amazing, you still are just your energy levels are just your body chemistry is a mess. And so you require some help, some medical help from a physician, not just your relationships. You need your relationships, but you also, you need to speak with someone who knows a little bit more about the body and has gone to school and understood that. And that's key. So if you're dealing with that, I really want to say, please make sure that you get help. And if you need someone, there are resources out there, and there are places that you can go to get that kind of help. You can definitely just go to your doctor and just tell them what's going on, and be honest. Be honest. It's so important to be authentic in life. Y'all, with everything that we're going through, with everything that I've been talking about, and everything I will talk about in the future, authenticity is important. So if you're not living in authenticity, hey, the city of authenticity. If you're not living there, then move out of wherever you are and get there fast, because it's important. It's important to realize that you are special, you are you, and you are the only you. And the only way you can help yourself and the only way you can do good for yourself is to be authentic and to be real and to really be in touch with all of that. I've said that as well in my podcast and on my IGTV and all of my Instagrams. So this is nothing new, but I'm sharing it new to my YouTube because these are all new things. So I really appreciate you guys for sticking with me here. But I also want to say that there's the second kind that I didn't really talk about, and that's the kind where you have kind of put yourself in that place because of the energies around you, or because of all the things that surround you. Maybe something's really hurt or gotten you down, and it's not necessarily a chemical thing, but it's just that you have emotionally been hurt, or whatever it is, whatever's gone through your life, and you need to you need to change your environment. You need to make positive changes, and you need to do positive things. And that's kind of where I had been. I had been in a really dark place. People go through that, after coming out of the closet. People deal with that, after getting out of a relationship is the one that I kind of dealt with that, and it took a long time. And as I discuss some of the things that I've been through, and you get to know me a little better, you'll find that story in interwoven. But for now, I'm just going to say that it took that relationship to help me make the changes I needed to make, to start cleaning up. I was living in a really messy room. I actually had a great clean room, and then and then there were days when I just let it go, because the energies around me, I just gave up, and it was really tough. And I realized that I needed to wake up, and I needed to pursue things, and I needed to do what I needed to do. And so where I am now is kind of walking that out. I realized that I had so much potential and so much that I needed to do and wanted to do, and I felt like I was wasting it away, and you can't do that. And it's so tough, guys. It is so tough to have been in that place. But what I realized is that life is too short to figure out, whether you're living it right or not. It's just live it. We have been given this gift to live our lives, and it's short. We're on this earth for a very short time, whether it's 90 years, whether it's 60 years, whether it's 100 or 40 or 30 or 20, whatever amount of time you're here, we are allotted just a little bit of time. And we need to enjoy it, and we need to live that time in this vessel the best way that we can. And we need to connect with all that we can in our spirits and in our lives, and do our best to go from the level to the level to the level. And so it's really important to not miss those things. And that's what I realized. So sorry, my phone paused a little bit there when it was recording. But yeah, I realized that. And now I'm moving forward, and I realized that in my 20s, I dealt with the gay issue. It took me 10 years to sort through that. I mean, it was the early 2000s, so there wasn't a lot of information out there. I had to deal with the gay and Christian thing, and I will have a video coming very soon with my coming out story, and you'll hear all about that. But it took my 20s to sort through that. And then I spent my 30s living in this relationship mostly. I kind of gave this guy a lot of who I was, and I had to deal with that. And then the last few years of my 30s kind of getting over that. And now here I am, really living up to my potential and really pursuing what I wanted to pursue. Now I've done little bits and pieces of that, but in that journey I've done some really cool things. But it's time to really get diligent and to actually take what I have inside, all of the strengths, all of the things that make up who I am, that make me strong, that make me special, that make me real, that make me authentic, that make me me, that are only things that I can offer to this world. It's time for me to grab those tools and share them, and also to focus in and to really run with them. So that's what I'm doing now. And if you've joined me for this entire video, I am now wrapping it up with just, again, how excited I am that you're taking this journey with me. And I thank you as I kind of live that part of my life now, and I figure all that out, that you're with me. And hopefully, again, through this journey and through the things that I've lived, you can learn a little bit and you can grow a little bit. And if you do, comment, guys. Comment down there. Let me know if you want to talk. I will definitely answer anything I can. I'm going to put in that description, I'll put some of the numbers that you can call if you're feeling depressed and you need someone to talk to. But yeah, I just want you to know that you're special, and that you can do it, and that you, only you, have your place in this world, and you have a special gift that you have been created to offer this world, and only you will be able to give that. So live up to it. Go after it. Make it happen, because you can do it. You can do it. We can do it. I can do it. You can do it. Whatever your Sexican dream is, whatever you want to find out, you go after it, and follow me as I do the same. All right? And hopefully we will take this journey, and we will be powerful, and we will make this world a better place than when we left it. So again, please like, subscribe, and go follow me on my other platforms. My Instagram is where I'm going to be doing some IGTV lives. I'm going to be doing a show there. Eventually, I'm going to be opening a podcast. I do have a Patreon that is not open just yet because I'm working on some things, but eventually you'll be able to see what I'm doing in terms of working out, what I'm eating, all of that, in getting better and eating right. I definitely will share some of that stuff here on this video, but I really want, if you want to get deeper on all of that, I will share that on my Patreon. And as I continue to pursue doing this for you guys, and also just moving on to the world of film and television, there's going to be a lot there. So keep posted and stay tuned. If you're watching this video later on in my journey, then check out my Patreon. But if you're watching it right now, you know that I don't have that posted just yet, but I will. So continue to follow me on Instagram and all my socials, and I appreciate you. And again, this is Aerik P, the Sexican Dreamer, and thanks for being around. And until next time, bye, curious. Have a great day and make it a good one.